Good evening, guys. Today I want to talk about if you believe or not believe about spirits. So I want to start with a dream that I had a few years ago when I lived in Bangkok. This dream is particular and it's really it's very vivid in my mind because it was probably the most clear dream I ever had, the most vivid. And even now, it feels like I just dreamed it yesterday. I was in this square and sitting on the stairs and looking at people play basketball, walking around when a woman came toward me and told me that I was dead. And I said, "Nah, it's not possible. I'm not dead. I feel I feel so alive. I don't think I'm dead. It's not possible. As an and if I'm dead, why I'm feeling melancholic? Why I feel sad?" And then she told me, "Oh, it's happened all the time. When you just die, you have some leftover feelings from your being human. Uh, it will be gone soon." So I couldn't believe it. And there was a man, there was a big, bald man, and I started to try to draw his attention. And I called him and said, "Hey, hey, hey." But nothing, he could not see me, he could not hear me. But for me, it was like, it was there. It was so clear. I was feeling so alive. But nothing, nobody could see me. So the lady looked at me with a smile and said, "I told you, you're dead." So a guy was walking and I recognized him. He was a customer at my cafe. So I just waved. I say, "Hey, hey." And he looked at me and said, "Oh, hey, Alex." And it's like, "Oh, so you can see me, so I'm not dead." He said, "No." He said, I died as well." I said, "What? When?" I said, "Oh, many, many, many years ago." So it's like, a few days ago you were at my cafe having a coffee, we had a chat, and they said, "Well, yeah, only you could see me because I'm dead." So you're telling me that every time we spoke, every time we had a chat at the cafe, nobody could see, so everybody could see me just talking to myself. And he smiled, and I woke up. I woke up with. Now I cannot remember. I think I thought I woke up sad, but I think that actually I woke up in a sort of good mood somehow, considering how was the dream. So it could be a dream, or as some philosopher says that I might have crossed the other side and then came back. Um I will not know it until I die, I guess, if we believe that there is another, if there is another side. So the dream, what I was talking about, it's about my father. He died when I was 10 years old. This is another story I was telling another day. But he died when I was a kid, 10 years old. So what is interesting that for many years I could feel constantly a presence, someone behind me, constantly. Something that I couldn't feel it anymore for many years now. But years, probably for 4 years, maybe 5 years after my father died, I always could feel a presence behind me. And sometimes it was so strong that turn, I could turn on my back, and there was no one. It's it been for so long, for so often, until slowly I didn't feel it any longer. So this brings to, I mean, there is other things that happen that makes me obviously believe in spirits. This is something for another time, but this is about my father is actually that I always feel like a presence in my life, and a few years ago that was so fascinating. So a few years ago, I was walking by the River Thames here in London, and it was getting dark. I was a bit emotional, and I started to feel. I think I kind of remember the time that I would feel this presence behind me, thinking that was my father, and I thought would be would be nice if you know, from the bushes my father would come out and telling me that he's my guardian angel, or you know, he's my spirit guide. um, Nothing came out from the bushes, and I remember I even stopped, closed my eyes, um, dreaming that like in a movie he would just appear in front of me. So I left thinking if he actually is the one to guiding me, and I went back home. So I woke up in the morning and I went to work, and in the morning early, I received a message from my auntie. So I'm not in contact with my auntie that often, and that morning we actually didn't speak for. It was a while that we didn't keep in touch. So I saw a message from her, and I opened it, and there was a photo, and the photo was of my father on his grave. That was like weird. First of all, my aunt never done it before. Second, if someone should have done it, probably should have been my mother. And my aunt, this is something that my auntie would never do for everything, like not just for my father, but for everyone. He would never take a picture of the grave and send it to someone. So I called her and I asked why you did it, which is the point, which is the reason. I said, you know, like I was at the, I went to visit your father and bring some flowers at the grave, and I just feel to take a picture and send it to you. So you guys can, or you souls, because we are not guy or girls, we are souls. So you can give your own interpretation. Obviously, there are thousand interpretations as synchronicity, coincidence, my father telling me that he's my spirit guide, random act from my auntie for no reason. She's crazy, option. But what I think that it was my father somehow, in the way he can, trying to tell me that he's my spirit guide. Yes, he could tell me personally, but I don't know how life works, and maybe that's the way, you know, like clear but not so clear. Like to give you some hint, but without tell you explicitly what it is. So for me was my father. Was my father answering to my question from the night before when I was walking by the river Thames. That was my father confirming me that is my spirit guide. And I think the reason why it was my auntie and not my mother is because first my mother cannot use a smartphone, and at the time I didn't even have a smartphone. And the second, if was my mom to do it, if always obviously if she could use a smartphone, I might have thought there was, my mother could do that. My mother could have done it. Something like that if she could, but from a hunter, like it's not something she would do. Absolutely, she wouldn't do it normally. So for me, yes, I can't prove it but I can feel that there are spirits constantly around us, guiding us, helping us in the way they can, and they just show up to us only if we are at the right frequency that translated the inner peace. So I think that was the way how my father could actually tell me that he have been, and or is one of many, or is my spirit guide guiding me all those years that through the world. So it would be nice. Let me know your experiences, or if you experience something more than that. That would be interesting. Let me know, guys and girls. Let me know, souls. Have a good night.